Greetings there, everyone. GleeCon back at you again with another episode of Lore of Warcraft. And on this episode, we are going to continue our side journey. We did just explore some Cycle of Hatred, and we've been building up the lore. We're getting quite close to World of Warcraft Classic beginning. And on our side journey, we've been looking at the second book and the source material for World of Warcraft, the role-playing game, Dungeons and Dragons setting. So now we're going to continue with that. So stay a while and listen to chapter 3. It's called Power Overwhelming, and let's just kind of check it out. Okay, so it says there are 3 new spell descriptors, blessings. That's makes me think of paladin stuff. Seals. It says they're similar to blessings, but they only target self. And totems. So blessings and totems are in the game. Seals, I'm not sure so much. And then there are new action types, swift actions, and immediate actions. To me, a swift action would be like the Dungeons and Dragons bonus action, and immediate action. those both seem to be based on or like it says, casting Slowfall. Well, they get rid of that. They just call that a reaction. It takes your reaction, and then so we're getting the actual spell lists, and that's I'm not. Maybe there are just some additional spell lists being added in. Let's see if we notice anything from the game. I don't know what a Mana Jade is. Scorch, yes, that's a World of Warcraft spell. And we're probably going to get maybe further. Arcane Explosion is... Yeah, see, these Conjuring Mana Gems is weird. Fire Blast, Ice Barrier, Combustion, these are spells. Frostbite, I think, maybe is like a perk, but whoa, that's a massive 32d6. Then from the Necromancer side, since there are not Necromancers, if these appear, most likely they would be Undeath. Death Knights, I mean, but I don't see anything specifically that I'm noticing. Hex of Weakness, that's a Warlock. Shadowburn, maybe that's a Warlock. And then they actually have Warlock spells here. Immolate. Searing Pain, I don't remember. Life Tap. That lets you sacrifice your own life to gain your spell slots. Basically, your life to gain mana. I think that might have used to be a thing. Conflagrate, Hellfire, Shadowburn. Okay, so whatever. This is just a very, very condensed little spell list. Argent Dawn Templar spells. Flash of Light is a spell. We have scores, but not for specifically Argent Dawn. Holy Nova. These are Pyroblast, so for some reason the Argent Dawn can cast Pyroblast. It's interesting. Druid spells, they have Fairy Fire, Gust of Wind. That's actually an aspect of the Grove, yeah, but these are not new. Like, I'm not sure why they're listing these, unless they're just relisting them because of not even the new things. Like, maybe they weren't listed before, but these are upgrades. I'm not sure. Because I feel like we have this. Maybe these are just new spells being added into the spell lists, even though we may have covered them in the previous book, the regular Magic and Mayhem. This is just them reiterating, hey, this is what they are now, and if they're getting tweaked. And then, yeah, now we go on to the full spell descriptions of those things. Arcane Explosion, it's a 20-foot radius burst. Okay. See, one thing that's majorly different is spells like that gets 1 damage per level, 15d6. Well, spells don't level up in the same way anymore. You can use higher level spell slots, which is a worse trade-off. So they've definitely nerfed magic users. Aquatic form, sure, that's a druid thing. Blessing of Kings is from the game. as is Blessing of Might, Protection. Actually, I don't think Blessing of Might exists anymore. I don't believe so. Blessing of Protection is Blessing of Sacrifice. That might be. But they have the Blessing of Retribution now. That's a little bit different. Blessing of Salvation, I don't think so. Sanctuary, yeah. So they've taken away a lot of the blessings in the current retail. The mana gems, I don't remember ever having those. Consecration, of course, that does exist. Corruption does. I'm just glancing through. We've done so many of these spell lists that Curse of Tongues is a warlock thing that slows casting time. Earth Shock is a shaman spell. This just doesn't do that much damage. It's a weak spell, but it is used as an interrupt, whereas now it's a lot more. It's an instant single target, a big source of your instant single target damage. Earthbind Totem, Fire Blast, Fairy Fire, Fire Bolt. Those are all staples. Flash of Lights, of course, the main heal. Frost Shock. Yeah, this is an instant cast. Frostbite, I think, is a passive now. It's not an actual spell. Gust of Wind is, it says Shaman. I don't remember. It might be Shaman. Healing Stream Totem is a Shaman healing Wave. Those are both Shaman healing things. This is a Shaman Witch Doctor, but whatever. Hellfire. It's a Fell and Fire type, but yeah, I'm pretty sure. Hex of Weakness is a Warlock thing. Holy Fire is a Paladin, I believe. Holy Light. I think that's Priest. Holy Nova's Priest. I do actually think Hurricane is still a Druid spell. An Ice Barrier is still Mage. Immolate is Warlock. Life Tap, this is something, like I said, I think they got rid of that, but I do think it used to be Light Blade's Final Sacrifice. I don't remember who Light Blade is. Look at this weird totem. I think that's like a serpent totem from Warcraft 3. Lightning Strike is, I think, just called Lightning now. Magma Totem, I do think, is something you can spec in as an elemental shaman. Mental Blast is just called Mind Blast now. It's a priest move. Mind Flay, that is priest, I believe. Mind Soothe is a priest de-aggro thing. Mind Vision is priest still useless. Like very minimal use spell. Power Word Fortitude, okay, good. Lasts a minute per level. Well, that's a little bit. Psychic Scream, yeah, it's the AoE Fear. Pyroblast. So a lot of these spells are actually straight up way back from Classic and are still existing now. That's kind of neat. I do think Renew is the get rid of status ailment thing. Ritual Summoning is a Warlock thing that still exists. Saria's Crown of Divinity? No. Oh, it's because it's Argent Dawn Templar. Scorch is Seal of Command, I think exists, but I don't remember what the seals are. So I said this is a new thing. Maybe not. Because their aura's on yourself. I don't remember. There might be some seals. I have a few paladins. I just don't remember the seals, or if that's what they're called. There might be some. Oh, I'm actually going to check when I play a little bit later today. Sense Demon. I think that's combined with Sense Undead now, or maybe it's just a Warlock thing. Shadow Bolt. Yeah, that's the main. They're the Warlock thing. They're tackling it into Necromancer as well. Shadow Burn. I do remember that being in the game. I don't remember who has it. I have a couple Warlocks. I have some of every class maxed out. Shadow Guard, actually, that seems familiar. But I don't remember it being there now. Smite is a priest staple. It's like somebody getting smoked. Starfire, yeah. That's a druid spell. That's like your main AoE damage. Strength of Earth Totem. I think that I really do think that still exists for some, but maybe it's only what do they call that? Balance Shaman or whatever it's called. Enhancement. Tremor Totem. I think that still exists. It's kind of like an earthquake totem. Wandering Plague, they have something different that's like this now. I don't think it's still called that. Water Walking, yes. Wind Fury, that actually makes me think of that's Hearthstone. That's what some of these are getting me from playing Hearthstone. Wind Fury will give you they'll attack twice. Um, I I don't remember if there's still a Wind Fury in the game now. And Wrath is a druid spell, like just blah, barely. Like only thing I'm trying to think about my druids. I don't have that many. I actually only have a balanced druid and a restoration druid. And the balanced druid, I don't think they use Wrath, or they do. Because you bounce back and forth between two spells. You have your Moonfire and your Sunfire that you keep going on them. And then yeah, maybe just Wrath as the one that you use for single target. And then there's the slower one you shoot that does some AoE, and you build up like you back and forth, like kind of like a yin yang rotation. But on Restoration Druid, oh my gosh, I don't have I have a one of every kind of healer except I don't play Holy Priest. I mean, I might eventually make one, but Restoration Druid is so painful to quest solo with because you're basically just stuck using a very weak Wrath and it sucks. And you can put a couple short term, like very low second dots on them. They only last like less than 10 seconds or something. So it's a pain playing that. All right. We've just looked at the spells. That's what the whole chapter was, just looking at the spells. Again, we've done it in the past, and we've looked at some new spells now. The one thing I do like is that almost all of these spells, I'd say maybe about 75%, are directly in World of Warcraft as related to classes. So that's pretty neat. We're definitely moving in that direction. Okay, everyone, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching and listening to another episode of Lore of Warcraft, and I will see you next time, because this one in the pot 5x5.